Alright, I found a small defect on this potion stand, and I actually made it to make it work. So here we are back into making a potion stand. As you can see, nothing has changed. Well, actually there is a little change, and I'm going to tell you which change has been changed. Nothing has been changed other than just the 4 items that look the same, but they're different. Okay, so I'm going to show you, as you can see right here, that I've got a 2x2 dispenser and droppers. Okay, and there's a so one side is dispensers and one side is actually droppers. So I can most certainly tell you which one is which. So the one right over here, droppers. Okay, now over here are dispensers. These are dispensers right here, and this is a dropper. Okay, now this might look weird in any way. So if you actually, I'm going to hold the dropper here. Now, as you can see, this here is no different than this one here that I'm pointing at here from my crosshair. Now, the dispenser is this one, but dropper is that one. So then what I did was just change just the dispensers that were right here, and the one here and here. As you can see, just from right here, you can tell it's a dropper immediately. So I actually made it look like it was very, very useful in any way. So I'm going to go ahead and change that into a water bottle here, if I can find it here. Boom. And then what I'm going to do is just go ahead and fly up here, go over here, place it in there, and then it should be right here. Alright? Now, I'm actually going to change, since this is bad for me to do this, but you know what? I'm actually going to change it into a dropper. Get the water bottles out of here. And you're going to just change just this one here, since actually the other ones have been changed. So I would change this to a dropper, this one to a dropper, and these two to a dropper. And then also this one here to a dropper. Okay? So now I'm going to place one bottle up in here, and then I'm going to place one stone behind here, destroy that, and then what I'm going to do is put the dropper now officially here, so that you won't hear any clicking sounds. So now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that and get the stone out of my inventory here, and so if you guys are ready for this, I'm going to make this actually look similar, but there's nothing to be changed other than just those major ones there. So there's nothing to worry about. So I'm going to be on this angle here to press that button there, and it sounded like it was a lot coming out of there. Now, since the actual machine is actually doing what it wants, and now I'm going to go into survival here, and even though that I know it's going to work, and I did a little test here, so you know it's going to work. No item came out, right? Well, the good thing about the droppers. Now, coming over here, hitting this button, and you'll still hear a clicking sound. Now, it should be right here. Bang! Everything's right here, ready to go. Now, and now these are droppers, and the one behind here is a dropper. Now it's sitting here, press this button, drops all the way down to right here, and the machine is now ready to go and ready to be used. So the only changes that you definitely are going to change is the dispensers that are already placed, but even though that's going to be a long process to do. But make sure you take all the items out first before you replace it. Okay? Just remember, if you want to replace the dispensers, even though that they really do work, even though the angle that they're at, and I know they do work, because one, because they have the they have the dispensers here, and I know that it's going to work very effectively, so just remember that if you are actually doing this, you want to make sure that everything is in orderly fashion in any way. Okay? Now, to make it actually do work, as you can hear, the actual brewing stand is actually making it work. Now, you got an invisibility potion, but now, since I already showed you already once, but now I just want to show you that the machine is now actually official, ready to go for you guys to use at any time. So, remember how I built it, but just remember removing these and this one here. Okay? Now, the only thing is that once you remove them, replace them with droppers. Only 5 droppers is all you need. And that's pretty much easy enough, right? Well, as you can see back here, this is how the machine is supposed to look like in the back, so that when you look at from the back, it looks easy, right? Well, it does. But when you look at the front here, it looks easy enough to build, right? Well, it really doesn't, really. So, and I actually did a little bit of modifications here, so I'm going to add this to my things here. Why do I have a glass bottle? Oh, I probably know why. From my other machine that I have right here, and I'm going to show you right now, actually. Now, as you can see, this is actually different than the one out there. Now, this is actually how it was supposedly made before, where I actually made myself, and these are actually dispensers. These ones here. Actually, no, the droppers actually. Wow. I took that for granted. I really did. I took that all back. Like, literally, I did it all. I did it right, except for those, especially. So I wonder if this over here is actually a dropper, I wonder. Yeah, it is, actually. As you can see, right there, barely in the corner there, that is actually a dropper back there. So yes, there is 5 droppers altogether. Really, all 5 droppers. So there's not a whole lot that really could go wrong here. So, and as you can see, right back here is actually how I made it and how I did, now, the reason why I did it like this is that you can see right here that I have a lot of vials of water. And now if I click on any of these, there's vials of water up in it. Now, once I click on, when I hit that button, there's nothing in this. That's because it's being powered only by a button. So then it just allows you to get it inside onto the actual machine itself. So that's why I did droppers, because it made it easier. I thought it was dispensers for some reason, but it wasn't. So, my bad, folks. So you guys actually made this machine, ow. As you can see that I'm 3 hearts less as I was before. But there is a way that I can get that back. Actually. Whoa. I will replace this actually. I had to remove it so that I can see what I did back here and then build it over there so I can show you guys of how it's made and how exactly how it works and whatnot. So now since I need some healing potions here, I'm actually just going to waste a little time, so making a healing potion. Okay? Healing potion. So I'm going to click on that. So that dispenser is actually doing its job. And I like it. And I like it. I pretty much do. Pretty much. So I figured out why it was not working. So I think that the repeaters actually block the actual dispensers dropping out the item. So that's what I'm thinking, is making it not having it drop out the item so that it just shoots all the way through in any way. So since it's a healing potion, I'm going to go ahead and hit this button here. And then I'm going to see it's in there. So now, I'm going to hit this button right up here. And now, the vial is inside in this machine. So now I'm going to let it do its thing. Well, I'm going to show you a couple other things to kind of waste time just a little bit. Now, if you guys are familiar with like actual Harry Potter and all that stuff, you know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean, then this house wouldn't be ideal for you then. Because on the inside of this house is actually something in return that I actually did and made just by actually making it just the way it actually looks on the inside. So, to get inside that, anyhow, well, the machine does its job. Probably is done by now, but still. So we're going to go ahead and damn, buddy! Damn, buddy, get out of my way. Instead of just there. Not what do you want me to do? You know? So you probably remember this is actually the cupboard underneath the stairs. So if you remember the actual movie series that he was actually sleeping underneath the actually in the cupboard underneath the stairs. So here's the bed under the stairs. I find it humorous. So then I actually made it easier for me to get in and out of the cupboard. Instead of just not letting you get in, but it lets you get in, but you can't get in. So I made it easier for me to get in and out with the iron door here. And also with that, you probably remember the actual, how the house was built. So this is actually the living room. The dining room's right there. The kitchen's right there, a little hallway, and I put a door there just in case. And I put a door here, and this is their backyard. Just with a glass dome type. And since I didn't have enough yard length to make it actually official, their yard, so I just made it look like an actual dome. So that since the villagers are here, I just want the dome alone. So then if they do end up going out of there, well, they can in any way go out that door. Now there's a door that leads up to the front yard, which does have a fenced gate areas. So that's guarded in, and now I'm going to show you a couple other things. And right here, we have a base here. We've got a bathroom here with a tub in the back. As you can see, that it has water in it. And we got a sink, we got a toilet, right where that dude is up in there. Sorry, dude, I didn't know you were doing your business there. Sorry. My bad. Alright, so we've got a single bed up here. So I'm guessing this is like Dudley's bedroom. And, well, yeah, actually, this is actually Dudley's bedroom, but I made it more different than the actual Dursley's home. And now, here comes the best part. Any game that's gotta have a minecart, right? Well, this minecart actually does lead me to an unknown base that I have not shown or revealed yet. So we're gonna go ahead and have the cart take us there. Without me doing anything. Without me doing anything. Except move the cursor here. And here we are. So this is actually a secret base that I actually made for this world, and actually I made it so that I can have a way to get up here without any other mobs of any kind that get up here without a problem. So that's why I made the actual lighting system, so that it lights the track, so that no monsters will not spawn on the track on your way through. But when you get down to the actual desert down there, you'll run into some monsters, but they will still get on the track anyway. But I will modify the track where there will be a fence post and a glass frame, or the actual glass pane all the way through the desert there, so that none of the monsters don't have a way to get onto the track. I have found out that you can actually build something like this only if you do it just perfectly in any way. Now, if you have the host options enabled, you can actually make this up in the air, and trick is, how are you going to get out safely without anyone spotting you? Who knows, right? Well, that's why I made this little section up here, just right at the top of the dome anyway, so that that you can just hop up here, just hop right here, and then what you do is hit this button, that brings it down, and then you can just fly up if you have it enabled here. You can just fly out, and just fly out if you have the host options enabled, like I do. And if you have the host options enabled, it will disable two things. The achievements and leaderboards. It's the only two that will be disabled. That's only if you decide on doing it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and go on this track here, and you're going to see a slight change in the track. So I'm going to let the track do its thing, so I don't have to do anything. Because it's just one track that's powered all the way through until you get to your destination. Now, right next to me is actually a village that actually I found, personally. I would say that there's two ways of getting in. The only definitive way to get inside, I'll show you here once I get parked here. There. The only secret, well, not really the secret way of getting in, but this is the first way in, is that the pistons, sticky pistons are inside this, but how does it work, really? Well, there's a pressure plate that sits here. You step on it, the door opens. Pretty easy, right? Well, it does seem like it's easy enough. So I've got a little chicken coop here with hoppers. I find this very useful in any way. Two reasons. That if the chicken drops an egg, where does it go? On the ground, right? So it's harder to get it from inside, right? So that's why I did the hopper idea. So the hoppers grabs the drop or the egg, and then what it does with it is it comes right to this chest. As you can see, that I did this whole time doing that building structure. This is all the eggs I have in this chest. Now, here's the downside of this. That if the egg or this chest gets filled up, which is going to be a long time for that to happen, so that is going to take a while for that to happen. And I've got another one over here. So this is actually a secondary idea, and there's 4 of them up there, which they won't move at all. They just stay in one spot, and the egg just drops in, and the egg just goes all the way down through the hoppers up there, which is like a twister up there, and there's a chest down here that allows it to drop in there. And as you can see, we've got a chicken up in here, and there's one in here, there's one right here, and there's one right here. So what happens is that one of them drops an egg from their little pen, and the egg, as you can see, one just popped, and now it's actually down through here already. And I'm going to drop right down here, and as you can see, it ended up right here. So that's a secondary idea, and I'll show you how to build a certain way of doing chicken coops, that way of any kind. But here's the thing. If you really want me to build a chicken coop of any kind, I can most certainly show you how. But that's only up to you. But I actually made something else in this world that I forgot about to show you here. So I'm going to go up on top of this dome here. That is actually the Nether portal. And I actually made that so that I have a way to get in and out. But 2 ways, actually. So, this actually is a resource machine, and I would say this actually does work anyway. So, I made it to look like 2 different colors. Why? Who knows, right? Well, I actually made it look like an actual official machine. Okay? Now, the resource machines, I'm going to go slowly here, so you can see each one that's there. Okay? Now it's coming into the other section, which actually is your wood, and the last but not least is the only thing that you normally can't get in any other game unless you buy it from the villagers or in the dungeons, is saddles. Is the one you see here. Okay? Now, the saddles is actually a very difficult item to find. I would say it is a difficult item to find in any way. So that's why I made it to look like that this chest is filled with all the saddles, so that all this right here down to here to this dispenser. Okay, or actually dropper, I should say. The dropper actually dispense this item, and it shoots all the way through here, turns here, goes down, goes into this chest. Okay, and I made it easier so that if you want to have your own resource machine, I say this right here is actually the best one you can actually make. But I'll show you how to build that on another time. But as of right now, I'm gonna kind of roam around and show you some other machines that I personally build myself that is easier to use, and don't mind me hurting myself here. Now, I find that you can find cobblestone of any time, anywhere. Okay? Now here's a cobblestone. It looks cobblestone-like, but on the inside of this, it actually is cobblestone. But the structure itself is stone. So the stone itself looks like you can mine it, but it's actually a machinery that actually does what it wants. Now, I find this very odd that the structure I made it to make it work, that if you have a solid block here, as you can see I have a slab right here, well, a solid block will block you from this chest at any time. So then I did a slab on top so that you can see the hoppers on the inside and still get the chest on the inside. That's sitting outside here. Now, I did make another machine actually today, which actually, you'll be surprised of what's inside this. Believe me, once you see this, you'll be like, how the heck did you make this? The reason why I'm going so quick through that is that because I will get suffocated through the water on that process there. So, the water actually goes all the way down into the tube there, and you have to find your entrance quickly so that once you get through that entrance, you basically get saved. But getting up this is a problem. I would say is a problem for most people. So that's why I made it easier for me to fly upwards. So I'm going to go up in this little area here, and here's another machine. Now, the reason why this block is different than any other is because it looks like it's a solid block. It ain't. It's actually a cobblestone stair backwards towards you. So it looks like a solid block, but it isn't. So this button here dispenses whatever's in this item frame. So this actually is a obsidians. So what's in this machine is actually obsidian, but here's the thing. The machine is actually made out of stone, but the machine holds obsidians. Why? Don't know. It just does. But I find it easier for me to sit up in here, and as you can see, obsidian, 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 obsidian. So there's like 5 of those stacked across there. Just pretty, okay, I guess. So, and I am not going to reveal whatever else is up in here, because those are the chests that I use to hide things from other people, or like any users that are on my console at the same time. So that if they have an idea where to get in inside this, they won't have an idea unless they find the entrance like I showed you guys. But if you are interested of me showing you how to build machines of any resource of any kind, leave it in the comments below, and I will most certainly can build them. And if you have a reference machine that you want me to actually build with that particular item in it, then yes, I will most certainly can try to build an actual machine with that including. And yes, I'm actually starting to build machines. Okay, so now as you can see right here, you can see how the machine of the reinforced stone wall, of sandstone wall here, that you can see up in here is actually how the machine is made, how it's made, but not really completely. So yeah. But you want to make sure you get inside before the door closes on you, otherwise you're going to suffocate yourself. Not good. Alright, so hi there, Ponyta. Nice to see you. But yes, this is actually is my official Ponyta, my Ponyta horse. Yeah, so that's actually my official horse there that I use to travel in any way, but since I can't travel with it now, since it's trapped up inside this glass dome that I'm underneath here. But anyway, I like to use certain things here, and as you can see, there's only a certain amount of villagers here, so there's not a whole lot of villagers here. But yes, speaking of villagers, they actually did added one new villager that no one else would think twice of. That this villager itself alone, I can say what it actually gives you in any way, but it's going to cost you quite a lot just to get that alone. Okay? Now, this villager gives you a certain type of map. Why do I say that? Good question. Here's your answer. This type of map actually shows you where the actual temples are at. Okay? Two major ones. Sea Temple, where the guardians and elder guardians are held. Okay? Now, they actually did add new creatures, and they added a woodland mansion. Okay? Now, the woodland mansion alone is bigger than I ever built in my entire life. So, it actually can be constructed into the world that you make without you knowing it did. Because I did make a world where I made the world get created without anything I built on it. Okay, and then what I did was just search around the whole area, and what I did was that kind of searched around the actual world itself, and what I find kind of interesting. I found the woodland mansion. And I went through up that thing, okay? I went literally through that, okay? And there's a horde of chests up inside it. And what I find? Nothing. I repeat, nothing. Nothing up inside that mansion. But what you do find up in there are the evokers, okay? And there are, I think it's Vexes, or Hexes, Vex, I think is what they're called. And there is another creature up in there too. I can't really think of the name off the top of my head. But what these creatures do actually does what you don't think what it does. So I would say try to save your life from that itself alone. And I would say that you want to make sure you are well armored. Diamond is best. And diamond swords. Enchanted is the best, I would say. But I would say that before you get inside that, make sure of one thing. Well prepared is the major number one. Food, if you're on easy. If you're in peaceful, nothing to worry about. But like I said, easy, you want to make sure you have food, plenty of it. Make sure you have plenty. Cooked food, definitely, if you have any. Make sure you have plenty of those. Make sure you have some diamond equipment, a spare set, in case your diamond armor is wilted. Okay, so so that that once your diamond armor gets down low enough and you think it's low enough, believe me, you're gonna need to repair it at some point. So you want to make sure you're ready and prepared for that in any kind of way. Now here's the last thing I want to show before I end it here. This thing right here. This thing right here. Okay, you want to make sure you get up inside here, and here's a hopper. Okay, now what that does is that it drops into a chest. It's up inside here, and as you can see, there's a lot of items I have up in here, but it's not a big deal, ain't it? Well, up in here is like a nice little nifty little room. So if you wanted your villagers to come here, you can see them right here. But getting to this little section itself alone is a problem, because you would need the flying enabled in order for you to get up there safely. But if you want a type of ladder or any kind of any source you want, you can just, or you can do trapdoors all the way up. That's a good idea for me to do, actually. So then you put the trapdoors from the top there all the way down. But here's the downside, is that once you have it at some point, you want to make sure you are clicking on the trapdoor itself alone, so that once you have it at a certain height, and once it reaches to here, then you can use the trapdoors all the way up. Trust me, it's gonna work. So make sure you have it actually in a really good, effective way of using it. But yes, I found out that the trapdoors actually do stay in the air as you remove the bottom piece. And yes, I find that odd, but it's very useful. So that is actually going to be it. I just want to point out a few things, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Let alone the brewing stand was a failure at the start, but it turned out to be a good ending anyway. So so if you enjoy this video, hit that like button below, and also, if you can, post this so that everybody else can see this video, so that it helps other people find my videos. And I will catch you guys later, and I'm your host, Survival Man 1, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow evening. I'll see you then, after 2 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. See you then.